I put one final thing in the car. I look up. BAM! There he is. So alright, so boom. Friday night, I'm there chilling with my manager at work. And just before I'm about to leave, she comes up to me and she's like, Lanil. And I'm like, what? What's up? And she goes, I have a favor to ask you. And I'm like, sure. What is it? She's like, can you escort me to my car? And I'm thinking, huh? That's kind of weird. Bianca never asked me to escort her to her car, let alone anybody for that matter. But I say, sure, I got you. Is there any specific reason why though? And she goes, truth be told. And that's when she even brings me a little bit closer to her. She tells me there's actually been a guy who's been following me as of late. And I'm like, are you serious? And she goes, I'm dead ass. So I'm like, holy shit, okay. Don't worry about it. Honestly, one of the first mistakes I made was literally not telling someone else. I guess she really didn't want to, but to be honest with you, we should have said something. We should have spoke up and done something, because what happened next, it just, like, the situation just kept, like, slowly elevating. Because I get it, like, Bianca, she was always kind of pretty, but the fact that there was a guy who was just, like, literally kind of following her around the store, and then kind of following her around in general, was pretty weird, I'm not gonna lie to you. So she had every reason to be, like, really concerned. And even though by this point in time we were like we were super close, so 100% I didn't mind, like, you know, staying late and just like escorting her to her car. But in all honesty, what happened next is where the situation just kind of like stammered from, like, you know, out of control, like, you know, more tamed to straight up out of control. So boom, her shift finishes, I wait for her, she kind of signals me to follow her, and I just get up and go, but I don't say anything, I'm just following her. So she looks at me, and I nod in agreement. We both get up and go. Now I'm thinking to myself, nothing's gonna happen. It's gonna be like, you know, chill. There's gonna be nobody coming, like she's over exaggerating. But I'm not gonna lie to you. It was closing for that night, and it was already really dark. So I said, okay, if this guy's scaring her that bad, and Bianca being a girl who literally has no fear in her body, but she's moving like this, I know it's something wild. And I'm a pretty big dude myself, but I'm not trying to get into a scrap. But if I got it for one of my homegirls, I guess I will. So next thing you know, we're walking towards her car. And as I'm walking towards her car, I turn to her and I'm like, Bianca, I gotta ask, when did this start happening? And she turns to me and she goes, here's the thing, Len. And I'm like, what's up? She's like, do you remember the guy who came in for that pre-order? And he said he lost his receipt, but I was the one who went out of my way so we can get his copy. So I said, don't worry about it, I got you. All I gotta do is look for your phone number on file. And then he goes, it's my mom's number. And she's like, cool, do you have any ID? I can do that for you. And then as soon as I did that for him and make sure he got his copy, boom, mesmerized. Now, I don't know what it was. Maybe it's just the way I said it. Maybe it's just the fact that I showed him human kindness. But after that, he did not want to let go of me. It was really weird, but it was what it was. Seriously? I'm so serious, Lenny. It's not even funny. Alright, now, I've had my fair share of creepy customers, crazy customers, and it comes with the territory. It is what it is. It's literally a GameStop, bro. So, like, you know, you kind of know what you're getting into as time goes on. But the fact of the matter is, I wasn't there when it happened, but I heard of it happening. Where legit, deadass, this dude, as soon as he got his game, or he was just like, oh, I can't pay for it, or whatever the case may be, or like, you know, I can't order it because, like, I need my mom's number, or whatever the case, because I forgot my receipt. As soon as that got resolved, because like, hey, don't worry about it, just give me your mom's number, I can get it for you, and since it already says that you already prepaid for everything, you're good to go. And that's what it was. Like, she's done that before, I've done that before, and it was cool. But the fact of the matter is, when she said, as soon as she handed him the game, bro, he clapped onto her hands, and that's what made it so weird. That's almost like, wait, what? Are you serious that happened? Like, everybody thought it was the most bizarre thing ever, but that deadass did happen, bro. It was so creepy. And after that, this guy, he just kind of kept, like, coming back to the store, just to be like, hey, how's it going? And then, like, you know, like, he just kind of, like, float around her, try and chat her up, but she was always busy doing her thing, because, like, you know, she was basically a manager. And bro did not, like, he did not let up. Apparently he was relentless. You know what's so funny about it? I actually saw him there a few times myself, but I just assumed he was just kind of like, you know, browsing, shopping around, maybe killing time. I had no idea it went this deep, but it gets worse. So now I'm thinking, damn, she just showed him a little bit of human kindness and now he's all over like that? That's kind of crazy, I'm not gonna lie to you. So next thing you know, we make our way to her car, and I'm looking left, I'm looking right. I don't see anybody, but I'm thinking maybe this is just getting to my head. But here's the funny thing about this. Bianca looks back at me and she goes, I'm not gonna lie to you. Almost every other night, I can just see him hanging around this plaza. I'm honestly starting to think he has my schedule. And I'm like, damn, Bianca, we should notify somebody. And she goes to me and says, Lenny, it's not that deep. It's gonna be okay. So I'm thinking, all right, then I just guess it's all good. We get into the car. I helped put in some of her stuff because she had some boxes that needed to get put in the back seat. I said, don't worry, I got you, it'll be smooth. I put it in the back seat. Next thing you know, bro, I see someone slowly walking toward us. Holy shit, at this moment, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Don't tell me this is an actual real thing. Bro, for a split second, I stood there like a deer in the headlights. Bro, I couldn't believe it. It was the same guy that she just described. This was insane. At this point, I honestly could not believe it. Bro, she just described him to me while we were walking to her car. And boom, she said he likes to hang around here sometimes. But you know when someone tells you that, you're thinking, I'm not gonna see this person. I'm not running into this guy, no way. And then you legit do. And it's so crazy. But around that area, to be fair, around that plaza, around that area, you did see it like the locals would kind of circulate around it. It was what it was. People lived close by, it like whatever the case may be. But it was just so bizarre for her to describe him, and literally 10 to 11 minutes later, he shows up. And I'm like, oh my gosh, there's no flipping way. So from here on out, it just goes, it's like each time you think it couldn't get more weird or bizarre, it just kind of did throughout this whole scenario. Balding dude, long ass nose. I'm like, yo, is that him for real coming towards us? Maybe it's because I'm here. Maybe because he feels that there's another person here that he can now approach. I don't know. Now, at this point, everything I say moving forward, I'm not lying to you. This 100% happened. I put one final thing in the car. I look up, BAM! There he is. So he just goes, hey, are you the boyfriend? And before I could even mutter out 2 words, bro, you won't believe what Bianca did. So I'm looking at Bianca. Bianca's looking at me. Bianca then goes, get the fuck away from my car, loud as hell. At this point, she was clearly done with him, and honestly, I can't blame her. This was getting really out of hand. I mean, the whole plaza must have heard that. But the funny thing is, no one else is in the plaza right now. And to make matters even crazier about this, it's the fact that he's just like, look, I'm so sorry. I just wanted to ask you out for dinner, maybe? Now, I understand that Bianca was actually an attractive girl, but this was getting out of control. Who does this? Who operates like that? It was one of the most obscene things I've ever seen. Now, he's super apologetic. She then says, no, I don't know you like that. Please respect my boundaries. I'm not interested. And yeah, this guy, he is my boyfriend. So, if you don't mind, could you please step the fuck off and leave us alone? And that's what it was. I was supposed to be the boyfriend buffer, but honestly, with this situation, I don't even care. I mean, I completely understood the assignment. I basically said, yo bro, it is what it is. Can you please respect our relationship and back up? Dude looks down, dude looks left and right, feeling like a fool. He then goes, fuck, alright, you got it. I'm sorry, I apologize, ma'am, I'm sorry. And he's just being apologizing and takes like 4 steps back, maybe. And he's like, that wasn't my intention to upset you or make you uncomfortable in any way. She goes, well, I'm not gonna lie to you, you did. Now at this point in time, I'm waiting for this dude to leave. Tell me why you won't believe what happened. Tell me why he's still there. Like, bro, just leave. But he doesn't want to. He's just like he's trying to confirm something as if it's what we just said was real. So at this point, we're ready to go. Bianca's like, I'm getting a fucking restraining order. Len, you drive. I'm driving now. Remember, I never drove Bianca's car, and this shit's a stick shift. So I had to learn right then and there. So I'm doing this. And I just only learned a little from what I've seen my brother do because he used to drive stick all the time. And I'm just doing it, and he's kind of like still watching us, just kind of looking in the car, but not really looking at me, kind of mostly trying to stare at Bianca. Maybe that's one of the reasons she didn't want to be driving. And just the fact that this dude's creepy as hell. Like, I get it. I'm telling you, whatever she said to him got him mesmerized. And truth be told, I was like, Bianca, what did you tell him? And that's all it took. It got him hook, line, and sinker. So next thing you know, I finally figured this shit out. Barely, but I got it. So I'm driving a little. Well, I put it in gear 1, and I hit the thing, and it's going, stalling, and then it goes. Again, bro, I drive automatic. I don't drive stick. It is what it is. I'm not gonna lie to you. I actually recommend learning stick because it's actually pretty cool, and a lot of other countries don't have automatic drive like that. But Anyway, so now we're driving, and the funny thing is, I look up in the rear view mirror. Tell me why, bro. I deadass see him just staring. And I'm like, yo, shoot, Bianca, I'm not gonna lie to you, girl. He might be memorizing your license plate. I mean, you might actually have a situation on your hands for real. I don't know. What do you want us to do about this? And she's like, I'll let you know. Let's just get to my apartment for now. And I can't drive this shit. So we swap seats. She gets out, she jumps in, and as we're going, she's just like, do you think he already knows where I live? And I'm like, don't even say that. Don't worry about it. He probably doesn't know. It's not that wild. It's not that serious. Let's just get you home. And I promise you everything will be okay. Fast forward to the next week. Bianca calls me over and she's like, I need to talk to you. And I'm like, what? What's going on? And bro, this girl was looking frazzled. And remember, this is a woman who I know has no fear in her body, bro. So the fact that she said, I need to talk to you like that and was looking like that, I was just already assuming the worst. So I'm like, oh no. And she's just like, Lenny, you won't believe what happened. And I'm like, Bianca, what's going on? She then said, remember that creepy stalker guy? He might be following me and trying to figure out where I live for real. Seriously? Or worst case scenario, he might actually already figured out where my condo is. I'm like, Bianca, this is serious. Like, I'm not even joking. This is dead ass serious. You gotta notify the police now. You gotta get Minetti involved. Minetti being the store manager. And then Bianca's like, I don't want it to get that deep. And I'm like, Bianca, listen to me. It's already gotten that deep. You're a very pretty girl, but at the same time, some dudes be wilding about that. So we gotta notify the authorities. Next thing you know, Bianca goes, okay. So right after that, she tells Mr. Minetti. And he goes, what? Who? And she goes, the same dude from the Black Ops pre-order release. And he goes, what? Seriously? And I'm like, yep. I even saw him when I was closing with Bianca. And Mr. Minetti's like, alright, let's just handle this. Alright, some context to this. So basically what happened was, she said she spotted her near where she lived. And that's when people got really, really concerned. And I kept telling her, you gotta tell somebody. Maybe you should tell someone. But I get where she was coming from, because she didn't want this to become like a whole thing where you get like more people involved in the situation, and then everybody knows, and then before you know it, oh no, she's going through the situation and whatnot. But it was pretty freaking creepy, bro. Like, he was just like really into her, and he did try to ask her out while we were there, bro. I still remember it to this day. I'm just helping her put something in her car. I'm like this, and I look up, and then he's like right there, if not going walking right up to me. And it was so kind of such like a jarring experience, because you hear of like weird creepy shit like this, but to actually be in it yourself is such a polarizing feeling. So it felt so odd, but I did know what was happening at the time, so I did play the role. I'm just like, yo, man, yeah, we're together. We're like this. We're like peas and carrots, man. So, respectfully, like, go fuck off. Like, so she wanted him to leave her alone. He didn't necessarily, like, he did take no for an answer, but he's just like, all right, I'm gonna back off, but that doesn't mean I'm not gonna, like, you know, like, look at you. So that was going on, and she allegedly said she saw him around her place, and as soon as it got to that point, you knew it was raps, because why was he even doing that? I have no idea. And not only that, after we notified our manager, Mr. Minetti, what he did was he basically said, okay, we're gonna tell him, we're gonna, like, you know, get the police involved, which they did, and they talked of it, discussed it, and I guess, you know what's funny about it? I never saw him again, so I guess it did work. Like, you know, like, I only knew as much as, like, I was allowed to know, and Bianca personally, at the time, she didn't really want to share too much about it, but, literally as time went on, she did tell, like, you know, a couple other employees, and I was one of the guys who, like, knew what was going on, so people were asking me, and I would say, I don't know, it was just weird. But the fact that the whole thing is, the whole thing that, like, really stabbed it was towards the end of the whole situation, when Bianca actually came back to me. She's like, Len, you know what's so funny about this? And I was like, why? What could be funny about this? She's like, man, this wouldn't have happened if I didn't show this dude human kindness. And I was like, yo, don't say that, because, like, you know, at the end of the day, like, it's just one guy out of a sea of many, but valid, 110% valid. She has every right to feel that way, because that shit was super weird. But with that being said, man, if you made it this far in the video, I appreciate you. Do me a favor, like, subscribe, and all that cool jazz. Guys, I'm actually going to be posting on my gaming channel I want to say daily, if not daily, like basically every other day moving forward. So if you guys want to check that out, check out Lennester EXP down below. That'd be really awesome. I also got a Patreon that's going to be dropping really soon. It's going to have some really good content, bro. I'm not going to lie. Stuff that I'm not going to be sharing here, it's going to be seen over there. So if you want, feel free to sign up. Like, I'm just getting my bearings for it. But as soon as December hits, I'm just gonna be going like this and dropping a lot of content on there. So with that being said, man, I appreciate y'all for checking out the vid. You know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that stuff. Take care of yourselves, guys, and I will talk to you later. All right, see ya.